This is a Jmix exclusive.
It says, G Unitas says that he heard that Lil Half Dead was locked up at the time of Pac getting shot. There is not one shred of proof to that whatsoever. No one has ever proven that that's the case. And you know, again, I'd heard that was a rumor, and we looked for it. There was no proof. There's no record of that at all, that he was locked up at the time Pac was shot. So that's a Greg Kading camp thing. And like a lot of Greg Kading camp things, it's a bunch of bullshit.
And you know what? All it would take is one piece of paper to disprove that, and it is yet to be produced. And I am using XSplit. Mike, I did it on your recommendation.
Yep, it's good stuff. So anyway, okay, yeah, and you know, let's talk about the Lie Factory. I think it's probably a good time that we can talk about that. What do you think, Jess? The latest and greatest?
Absolutely.
Okay, you know, whenever I want a really good laugh, when I just want to laugh my ass off about something, I'm having a bad day or whatever, all I need to do is look at a recent post from Greg Kading that makes me laugh, and it cracks me up because of just the, you know, the kind of the sheer ignorance involved with it. You know, and excuse me. The first time that I saw a clip was just the other day, and I thought it was kind of funny because actually Kading decided he was going to offer up his opinion about Reggie Wright Jr. and the legal trouble that Reggie Wright Jr. is having. And Kading said in July, when the story first broke, that Reggie Wright was indicted for federal money laundering and drug trafficking charges. Kading said in here that Reggie got himself into financial despair, that he resorted to trying to make quick illegal money selling weed and oxy. Okay, well, I just started cracking up because this is a typical example of the ignorance that these guys show, and you know, and again, there's a motive behind it. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to reduce the blowback from any problems with Reggie to Kading's endorsement of Reggie and having Reggie in his movie and saying what a great witness Reggie was and what a great guy Reggie was. All of this is about that. But then, so what he tries to do is he tries to downplay Reggie's legal problems by saying simply that he resorted to making quick illegal money selling weed and oxy. Okay, well, that's fucking bullshit right there. And Jesse, I don't know if you can put it up, but do you have the bill of discovery there where they talk about exactly how many times this happened? I don't know if you have that or not.
No, I don't have it available, but it says over 300. We're talking about 300 transactions.
Over the course of 3 years, there were 300 shipments made between Los Angeles and Tennessee that the Wrights were alleged to be part of. I don't know how that's trying to make quick illegal money. I don't know anything that's quick that takes 3 years to do. I mean, maybe trying to put the murder rap story together was 3 years. Maybe that was quick. But as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing quick or easy about what Reggie did. There was many bank accounts involved, dozens of bank accounts involved. There was transactions that were deposited in the bank that were less than $10,000, which actually, if you deposit less than $10,000 cash in a bank account, it doesn't trigger the FBI. If you deposit more than $10,000 cash in a bank account, the bank is required by law to immediately notify the FBI of a suspicious cash activity. And they created whole bank accounts in this whole scheme of multiple different bank accounts at Wells Fargo Bank and Bank of America just to get out of having to pay that or to get those suspicious activities. So this is hardly trying to make a quick buck. It sounds like Reggie grabbed a dime bag and some oxys and went over to his neighbor's house and tried to sell a dime bag, and there just happened to be a cop standing there and he arrested him. I mean, and this is the thing. I mean, this is just, you got to realize, I mean, Greg Kading's a licensed private investigator, I mean, with the state of California. He's supposed to be a former cop. He's supposed to have led all these big task forces. You know, at some point you can't just blow this off and say this is just some dumb shit. This is some idiot, because I really don't think that he is. I think he's manipulative, and I think that he's been a proven liar. So as far as I'm concerned, when he starts to put this out in writing and he says that Reggie resorted to making quick illegal money, no, not in a 3-year federal investigation with over 300 instances of drugs being sold and transferred across state lines, and also not when you have multiple bank accounts set up with Wells Fargo Bank and Bank of America to get out of the $10,000 trigger for the FBI's involvement. None of that stuff is random, and none of that stuff is just happenstance or something that was done by accident. And this was clearly not a seat of the pants kind of move like Kading tries to put it out there. So I laughed my ass off when I saw this, and I hope that you guys enjoy that too, for just the sheer ignorance of the whole thing. Which leads us to the hits keep on coming. Don't we have another one from him as well?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on this a little bit. At first on Tupac Fanbase Forum, which is now defunct, Greg said it was just a little bit of weed. In July, he comes on Tupac Forum and he says, well, it was a little bit of weed and oxy. And then he continues, if you read the rest of this post, he said that Reggie Jr. is just not capable of orchestrating some complex conspiracy. Well, the thing is when you're setting up a drug trafficking ring across the country involving 20 different people, that is the definition of a complex conspiracy.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, there are 20 people that were indicted with Reggie. It wasn't just Reggie and Pops. It was 20 different people that are being all charged at the same time for this drug trafficking ring. So it's not just one guy. Like I said, it wasn't like Reggie just walked over to his neighbor's house with a dime bag and some oxys and said, hey, listen, I have a cash crunch. Can you buy a couple of these for me for a couple $100? I got them from my pharmacist and bullshit like that. And there just happened to be a cop living next door that he sold them to. And I screwed up. Okay, no, it's not like that at all. And I think that the gross mischaracterization of it is just so typical for the kind of bullshit that Kading spews. And and I think it's our responsibility, as he's always claimed it is, to get to the truth. And this certainly isn't the truth. So as far as I'm concerned, it's always worth putting this stuff out. Now, is this the other one here? Yeah. This is another one. This is as I was looking through that, I found another doozy, another whopper that was told. And that was the one that Kading is talking about Robert Soria and the confession letter. And he makes a statement in it that the confession letter was, in the hands of Chris Blatchford, who's a journalist at Fox News. And of course, Kading doesn't want to put Chris Blatchford's name on anything, because by whitewashing that and by making that name vague and not identifiable, that he can say whatever the heck he wants to say, because maybe if he brought Chris Blatchford's name about it directly, Blatchford might take issue with what he has to say. So he just kind of put it out there generically. But he said that the reporter had been holding on to the letter and had not told Russell Poole about, and it says that he finally gave the letter. He knew it was bullshit, by the way, and that he finally gave the letter to Russell Poole, intentionally not telling Russell Poole about Robert Soria. Well, I don't even know what we're talking about here, because number one, motherfucker, I was there at the time when that letter was given to Russell Poole. I was there, and not only that, but we had an attorney there with us when that happened and that letter was given to us. This was not just some random reporter giving stuff to Russell Poole and do that. There were questions that were asked about it. The attorney asked questions of him. I asked questions of him. Russell asked questions of him, and it was hardly, I'm just giving this to you because I think it's bullshit. Really, and that's part of the reason he didn't mention Chris Blatchford's name, is because he's making Chris Blatchford out to like he punked Russell Poole. He gave him a document that he knew to be complete bullshit, and he gave it to Russell Poole and myself and our attorney. You're going to defraud us with our attorney sitting there and give us a document that you know is bullshit, and you're going to do that? No. First off, Chris Blatchford, who I know personally, is a great guy. He would never do that in a million years. Russell Poole is a great detective. He would have sniffed it out in a minute, and no one is going to give us something that they know is provably false while we have a fucking attorney with us. Okay, that's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And yet another example of the bullshit that he just spews out randomly. I had a teacher tell me one time that it was diarrhea of the mouth. And that's the real best way I can explain how he presents facts, is diarrhea of the mouth. So I can hardly wait to see what is going to come out of this TV show. But, you know, it's going to be basically filmed diarrhea of the mouth, I'm sure. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, whenever I want a good laugh, I just look at whatever Kading has to say, and it makes my day. Gary Watson, where's Reggie Sr.? He's comfortably at home awaiting his arraignment. You know, I don't know that he's on an ankle monitor, but I do know that he is under basically house arrest on bail right now, pending his federal charges being brought against him. So let's see here.
What is new in the Reggie Wright case? Didn't you find something interesting earlier today?
Well, you know, yeah, I did actually. I did find something interesting. It's funny you'd say that. And in the interest of time, I'm gonna make it kind of fast. But ultimately, one of the things I saw when I was looking over the case notes in the Reggie Wright trial was that Reggie's appearances have been pushed off continually throughout the trial. And this time it's been pushed until January. And one of the things that was interesting to me was that there was a change of plea that was going to happen at this January court hearing. Well, you normally only change your plea under certain circumstances. And if you've pled not guilty already to a crime and you're going to change your plea, that would indicate to me that there's going to be a guilty plea with some sort of a plea bargain or some sort of an arrangement that's been made. And we've been saying that all along, that Reggie was going to cut a deal. We don't know that he has. We're not sure that he has. And I'm not willing to say that that change of plea is that is what it is, but it's certainly indicative of that. So it's very curious, and we'll keep looking to monitor, see what's going on with that. By the way, plug, if you want to see the movie Battle for Compton, it's on YouTube and it's free. So there's no reason not to go and watch it. And there's no reason to watch so if you go, come and join the chat. You know, come with us and be part of the chat. Watch the movie. It's free. And if you liked it, watch it again. It doesn't hurt anybody for you to watch a movie 5 times. And you might learn something new the second time you watch it.
This is a Jmix exclusive.
What up, shut up?